Now, let's look at these 7 dimensions or 7 manifestations of yourself, your true self, your lowest self and your highest self. In ancient Kemet of Black Egypt, they called it the lower self and the highest self. Master Farah Muhammad broke it down scientifically into 7 dimensions: the physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, the soul, the self, and the will. Okay. Physical self, the physical man, the physical woman, the physical black man, the physical black woman. When you manifest in your physical form, as we revealed earlier in this build today, the very energy, masculine, feminine, Father, God, Mother Nature, electromagnetic forces, the positive and negative, proton, electron, male, female, yin, yang, I Ching. It's a million ways to say it. We'd be there all day because everything in the universe operates off of this. Life, death, up, down, positive, negative, 5%, 10%, whatever. No matter how you look at it, living, dead, rich, poor, healthy, sick, you can never break the law of opposites. It exists in us. It's in the very atoms of us. It's in the tiny cells that comprises your fingertip, your eyeball, your brain. Your brain cells is made of these forces. Your skin cells, your bone marrow, your bones, your teeth. Opposites attract, like repels, according to Messenger Elijah Muhammad. As these cells multiply, add and multiply, they divide and subtract. And what you have forming is the human heart, kidneys, the liver, the spleen, the brain, the nasal passages, the esophagus, your fingers, your toes, your legs, your arms, your backbones, your ears. Every organ mathematically links up through electromagnetic forces and communicates with each other. We see out of the physical eye, but we see with the back of our brain. We see with the brain. You see? The sound waves traveling 1,120 feet per second is vibrating on a tiny little bone in my ears. And it's sending electromagnetic signals to my brain, and I can hear. It's all mathematics. Nothing spooky, family. Ain't no spooky Jesus, spooky Allah, spooky Yahweh, Buddha, Krishna, whatever. Know what I mean? Everything is real. The Holy Quran teaches us, Surah 22, Ayah 6, Allahu an al-Haq. The God is the reality, the sure truth, the pure truth, the natural truth, the reality. You see? There's a whole bunch of men on earth. You know what I mean? Some black, some brown, some yellow, some red, some albino, some white. It all comes from the original, the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. But what is this God of the universe in the Sakin, or in person? Allah Sakin, Allah in person. In the physical form, you must manifest the mathematics of the physical. If we don't eat, if we don't take in new calories, we lose calories. Cause and effect. The fat man to get skinny. The skinny man to get fat. He took in too many calories. He was eating at McDonald's. You see? It's all mathematics. And you'd be like, I'm born, I'm a newborn baby. You become an old man. I couldn't walk as a baby. You won't be walking as an old man. I came out of the earth. I came out of my mother. You come back into the earth. You come back into the Umi. You come back into the earth, the mother, Mother Nature. Your bones is stone, your flesh is vegetation, your blood is water. This is a universal, natural, mathematical, scientific, realistic, spiritual science. This is the true religion, if you want to call it a religare. meaning go back to. Legare means bondage, to tie down, to fast. God don't believe in religion. God has no religion. God has no organized religion. God absolutely is like, I believe in the spiritual and the scientific. I believe in spiritual sciences. Polar opposites attract. They're not two separate forces. It's the exact same thing. Your Bible is true if you understand it. What you talking about, Alif? Let me share something with y'all. Let's go to the messenger's message to guide us through this age of mess. Hold on 1 second. Give me one moment here, family. See, we like to argue and all that kind of stuff like that there, but the messenger, he really ain't with all that kind of stuff. Okay, let's look at the spiritual science of Christianity. Christianity is the white man's religion. Yes, organized Christianity, not spiritual science Christianity. Let's quote the messenger on this. The messenger says, quote, "There is some we call good Christians, but they just don't know how to be a good Christian because they don't know the truth. We are the best Christians on earth. Christian means to be Christianized into one. So if you go by the meaning of Muslim, we are the real Christians. We are one. So if you go by the meaning of Muslim, Muslim means one who submits to peace, to the mathematical universal laws of God. You know what I mean? We are the real Christians. The FOI and MGTs are the real Christians." The messenger asked himself, he said, "Is the Bible a lie, Elijah?" No. If you understand it. I mean, the Bible is absolutely true. But the Bible and organized religion got this gangster God. It talk about talking snakes. It talk about killing witches or bees. It talks all this spooky, like physically resurrecting people from the physical grave and all kind of spooky things that are mistranslations, misinterpretations, mistransliterations, and spooky constructs from Eurocentric way of thinking. Now, I mean, we think circular. We think in 360 degrees. They think linear. So you can't take that spooky way of studying the Bible or the Quran. I mean, the Bible and the Quran are both spooky if you don't understand them. But if you understand the Bible, the Quran, the Septuagint, the Vulgate, the Sanskrit, whatever, no matter what holy, the book of coming forth out of darkness to light, no matter what book it is, as long as you in your brain is like everything is real and you, everything is natural. I don't care what I'm reading. If I read about a talking snake in a tree, I have to ask myself, what does that mean? Because the Bible is full of analogies, similes, parables, symbols, rituals, whatever. Now, I mean, they put it in Aramaic and Hebrew and Greek and Latin and all this stuff to confuse us because they know we don't understand all that mumble jumble stuff. But they can't fool a Muslim, not nowadays, because as long as you have the reality, you're good to go. So they'd be like, "Oh, the serpent said that." So you'd be like, "Okay, the serpent, all right, well, the snake, there's all kind of snakes. There's some snakes that rattle before they strike. I mean, there's the boa constrictor snake, you just try to suffocate you. Now, I mean, you got the king snake that look real pretty and it'll strike and kill you, but it don't rattle, don't make no noise, no rap, it just strike and kill. You got the water moccasin, it hisses and look like a snake, it got a white mouth and it spit all this white stuff, but it bites you. It's not poisonous. It's a garden snake. I mean, it doesn't do no harm. It's all kind of white folks on earth. I mean, all the white folks ain't racist. I mean, most white people ain't out to get you. It's no conspiracy. I mean, they trying to do that thing. You know what I mean? But there's black snakes too. There's the black man, but there's some deadly black snakes out there too. So the messenger teachings gives us a practical, mathematical, universal, natural interpretation of everything. We don't care what it is. Now, I mean, even if we don't understand it, we don't interpret and assume it's something spooky. I mean, Just something we don't understand. It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot of X factors out there. I mean, the universe is expanding. When will it stop? I don't know. The messenger ain't tell you. Master Muhammad ain't tell you. The 24 scientists didn't tell you. Nobody, and somebody tell you they lying. I mean, you will find somebody that will lie to you if that's what you're looking for. Know what I mean? But the way that you be like, when did the universe begin? We don't know day -1. We can tell you creation. We can't tell you before creation. That's not in the mind power. The mind power, if it knows everything, it has to be things you don't know. That's the law. That's the universal law. How you going to be conscious and not be unconscious? How can you see and not see? It's universal mathematics. You know, that's just how it works. Now, I mean, that's just how the universe operates. That's the universe, if you will. Now, I mean, you know, we process these thoughts. So we have that first dimension, the physical man, the atoms building up into little tiny little cells, and they unite and form an organ, and the organs link up and snooze, and next thing you know, you got the whole body Christ. You got the body, the human, you have Sakin, you have Allah, God in your person. All right? That's the physical plane. Now, with that physical plane, there are physical things that are necessary. I mean, you have to, you got to, if you don't breathe in and breathe out, the nafs, if you don't have that soul, you're not going to be living, not in reality, on the physical plane. You see, the message teaches us that your breath is the real soul. I mean, you know, so, you know, the Holy Quran, you know, it speaks about Ru'Allah, the Spirit of God, and it speaks of Huwa Allahi, He the God. So when you're looking at the physical realm, on the physical plane, the first dimension, if you will, now I mean, you're looking at the lowest vibration of God manifesting Himself, the physical. If I don't eat, I die. If I don't drink water, if I don't take in new atoms of hydrogen and oxygen, the atoms in my body is like, yo, we need water. You'd be like, okay, we need water. All right, give me 15 gallons of water. And I drink 15 gallons of water every day. I die. Why? If you drink too much water, fool, you're going to die. Your balance, you need my ad. You need balance. Too much water will kill you. Not enough water will kill you. Not enough sunlight will kill you in the physical realm. Too much sunlight will kill you. Oh, this is how it works. So the ancestors, they like, you need to balance it all out. Put your heart on the scale next to the feather. You need that Ma'at. You need that peace, truth, freedom, justice, and equality. You need the universal balance in all things. Not enough money, you die. Too much money, you die. Poor food will kill you. Rich food will kill you. You need balance, family. The physical plane. Let's look at the second one. The physical, the emotional plane. Now, say we got the cells form the organs, and the organs put together the being, the body. We got this baby coming out of the earth, the Umi, the mother nature. We got a baby coming out of the womb, coming out of the temple. Here's a baby coming out of the temple that is a temple. There's a temple on the right, the temple on the left. The baby is, if it's a chemical with testosterone in this baby, it's a male god, it's a dominant seed. If it's estrogen in a baby, it's a female. You see? These are universal natural phenomena that exist under the oceans with worms, with ants and bees and birds and bats, you name it. Daylight, nighttime, owls, hawks, vultures, chickens, chicken hawks, you name it. It's a universal natural way that the universe operates. So that baby, now that it's physically here, what does this baby manifest besides the physical plane and the emotional plane? Now, that baby, that cute, beautiful little boy or girl is going to scream like a mother. As soon as it come out the womb, emotions, Allah! The baby crying out, Allah! Allah! And the devil turned upside down while smack it. Don't let the devil smack your baby. You crazy. You better call Sister Sasha, the people's midwife. Now, you better have a natural birth or something. You want to protect your seed. You know what I mean? But the principle is the same. That baby goes through an emotion. It'll literally wake you up crying. And because we're so much into the devil's world, we hear it, but we're not listening. See, on the ranch, on the farm, at the barn, the Amish, the Bruderhoffs, they hear and they listen. And they can hear the baby lamb's voice. Oh, she's hungry. Oh, she's afraid. Oh, he's scared. And if you took the time and actually listened to the emotional vibrations, what is the vibrations? It's that one single vibration. I don't care if it's Chinese baby, African baby, Indian baby, Puerto Rican baby, Latino baby, European baby. They all send a vibration at a mathematical frequency of 1,120 feet per second. Every last thing over in China, 1,120 feet per second. India, 1,120 feet per second. Africa, 1,120 feet. Eastern Europe, blonde-haired, blue-eyed baby cries with 1,120 feet per second. The emotional plane. And that emotion is going to be developing as that child gets older. It's going to learn to love and hate. It's going to be afraid. It's going to be courageous. It's going to go through all of the plethora of emotions because it's on the second plane. That's the second manifestation of your being. The physical, the emotional. Then it goes to the mental plane. We send them to get set. We have them learn A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what I mean? Jack and Jill, whatever we mentally program them with, they're programming from within. So the mental plane or the educational plane is part of the physical plane. Now, you can't eat processed foods and not eat processed ideas. You have to eat to live physically and eat to live mentally, because the third dimension of the black man's mind is the mental plane. On this plane, you now is using the law of attraction and repulsion. You're attracting dominant ideas and recessive ideas. Dominant concepts, recessive, dominant beliefs and recessive, truth and lies. It's a mental thing. Now your brain is like, shh. But what do? We put the baby or the child, a teenager in front of the laptop, the smartphone, the tablet, and just let them listen to anybody, watch anything. Wrong program. I mean, the binary code, the mathematics, the 0 to 1s, it's like you're not going to get the right vibration if you get the wrong information. You need the right information to get the right results. To activate the God or goddess or godling, because the power is in the children too. The godling power is already there. Jesus talked from the cradle. I mean, he talked when he's a baby, not spookily. There's a science there. I mean, before the child comes out of the mother's womb, we now can look into the mother's womb and see the child move. We can see the fingernails, the hair on his head, eyebrows forming. We can see him eating, taking a poop. Now, I mean, see the little heart beating inside the mother's womb. We shine a bright light. The child can see inside the mother's womb. If we teach the mother lessons, the child can hear the voice of the Abu or the father. The child can hear the eardrums work inside the water, inside the mother's womb. We're talking about a godly. It's not how to make a God. You can't be but a God. You're created God. You see? You don't have God in you. You are God. You're not a God. You're the God. There's not a big God and a little God, a black God, a green God. There's only God. A Hadu. There's only one creator, I'll call it. There's one creator of all of creation. It manifests itself, or himself, or herself, or their self, through countless phenomena, countless ways. So we had the physical, the emotional, the mental. Now we go to the spiritual. Now, okay, the child, they graduated from middle school, they went to high school, they got their diploma, they got a GED, they got a degree in mechanics, or they got their nursing degree, their barber's license, they went to college. Now their mental is like, okay, they vibrating on this, they got information. What the heck you gonna do with it? So it's a whole bunch of information online. It's irrelevant if you don't know that you're God or a goddess. You can't use it. You could quote it, but you know what? I could take a white saltine cracker and put it inside the bird cage, and the bird would peck it. Be like, that's good. And while I'm in the other room, I hear the bird holler to me, Polly wants a cracker. Did that bird just talk to me? Yes. Because programming someone or something is different from inducing or giving them a true education. If the information is not information of the knowledge of yourself, the wisdom of yourself, the understanding of yourself, it's useless. You're going to vibrate at a low vibration. You're going to fall from the mental to the emotional. You'll be all emotional. What are you talking about? My professor told me, I got a GED, I got a high school, I own my house, I own the Rolls Royce, I got some money, I got more money than you, I sold more rap records than you, I sold R&B, whatever. So emotional. As the oldies say, feelings. We caught up in our feelings. And those feelings not only get you killed, it'll have you killing people. I mean, a lot of these young boys is on the streets caught up in their emotions because they don't know God. They know Muslims, they know Catholics, Christians, atheists, 5%, Jews, FOI, and they have to know God. It's a big difference, family. They have to know God. If they know God, they know themselves. Now, if they know self and they are ignorant or uninformed about the supreme law of God who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises due forever, they're going to fail, family. The mathematics is wrong. That math is wrong. I mean, they start with an effect. See, like if I say 7 means God, to the conscious man, first thing you're supposed to be like, what is 7? Why 7, 7? Who said 7 is 7? 6 plus 1 equals 7. You're already deceived. You already have a Christian cross in your mathematics. You already have spookism separating your 6 and your 1. You got a Christian cross saying 6 plus. Who taught you the plus? Where did the plus come? Whoa, wait a minute. The universe didn't create no plus. 6 plus 1 equals 7. Equal? Oh, where did equal? Wait a minute. See, we take all these assumptions from the white man's world and mix it into our Afrocentricity. Mix it with the crack mathematics of the messenger teachings. We mix it with our Pan-Africanism, our revolutionaryism. So we missed the whole point. I mean, we missed the whole point. I mean, black men are waking up to the reality of God. We're not there yet. The reason I know that we're not there, because if we was woke, if we was conscious, all the black men is conscious. Nah. If we was conscious, the devil wouldn't be here. The devil would not exist. The devil would not be sitting on a lost throne if the black man on earth was conscious. The devil is cracking up like these spooky ass mentally dead wannabe 5%ers is playing games. You see? This is the reality of this thing. The messenger told us in Our Savior Has Arrived in 1970. He said the black man in America is not an example of the original man because he has been used for experimental purposes for the past 6,000 years. The devil has. So you got to accept the reality yourself. See, I know I got weaknesses, but I know I got strengths. My strengths outweigh my weaknesses, and I keep adding on to my strengths. I keep building. I keep multiplying. I keep adding and multiplying. And my weaknesses, I keep dividing them. I keep subtracting them. That's being active in the struggle. That's being true to self. That's being real. That's loving your brother as you love yourself. That's understanding as brick unites with brick. If there's no mortar, if there's no cement between us, if there's no love, the wall gonna fall. I don't care what we build, it'll fall. The pyramids collapse. You could build all you want. You need love. You need the elevation of understanding of those who are original. We got to get peace on these streets, but the peace on the streets will come only when black men learn to love and respect their brother as their brother. See, that's the science right there. So we have the physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual. The spiritual is that realm of organized religion. How many religions is it? Like 4,000 of them. I mean, you can't even count all of them. People believe some spooky, incredible things. I mean, the human mind is something. I mean, if I got drunk, I could see a pink elephant in the room. You can see the brain is easy to deceive. Now, I mean, you think you're seeing a full moon and the moon not there. You think somebody is shooting at you, and you'll wake up in a cold sweat and be like, I'm in bed. It's not even happening. But your brain is like, it seemed real. I mean, you be in a prison house and you ain't been around a black woman so long. You'll dream and have a wet dream. You'll wake up like, yo, I really was with the goddess. I mean, I was in heaven. Damn, I'm still in this damn jail. I mean, the physical don't mean anything to the spiritual. The mind does not separate the physical plane from the mental plane. There's no separation. It's just a different vibration. You can be in your bed. You could be woke, and the Joker could put a 4-4 in your face. Boom! And there's no bullets in the gun. And he pulled that gun out and said, I got you, and pulled that trigger. And psychologically, your brain will take and look at this emotional, mental event as though it's physically happening. Your brain will hear the bullet crackling. It will hear the sound wave. It will smell the gun smoke. And it's only a toy gun. But when it hits you mentally, that mental bullet will go into your brain, and your heart will literally melt in your chest and collapse. As the Bible says, men's hearts will fail them with fear. And you will physically die because you got shot with a mental bullet. You will physically die because your commanding officer hit your brain with a spiritual bullet. You met a spiritual cremator that will literally burn you out. You be like, man, fuck the Nation of Islam. Fuck Christianity. Buddhism. I'm done. And you can never come back on that level again. Because of some evil force that's not a ghost, it's not a jinn, it's a human being with negative energy, negative electromagnetic fields that is burning you out. But at the same time, just the polar opposite is true. You could turn on NOI Report and listen to a video from Brother Minister Ali, and it activates you. You're like, oh, this is making sense. This is coming together. And your health will come back to you. Your wealth will come back to you. Your political power, your intellectual ability, your love, your house, whatever you want. You can will it into existence easily. I mean, by being God. So we have the physical plane, the emotional plane, the physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual. Then comes the soul. What is the difference between the soul and the spirit? What is the difference between the ancient Kemet, the Ka, and the Ba, or the holy city Mecca, the Kaaba? I mean, this concept is basically, I'm going to give it to you in plain language, short language, 2023 language. The spiritual is the positive or negative forces that come from outside of self that permeates the self. Example, if you hit the lottery ticket, if you got the, what they call it now, the Mega Millions, if you won $1 million or $1 billion on a lottery ticket, and you looked at the check your phone, check your laptop, looked at the news, whatever, and you see the number, and it's like 7, 13, 24, Powerball number, I won $1 billion. That's outside stimulus. Now keep in mind, you've never seen $1 billion yet, but just that energy coming through your TV saying your mathematics lined up with their mathematics, when it hits your brain, if they was to actually put probes on your brains, hook it up to a computer so you can see it light up, your brain would light up like a Christmas tree. Your heart would light up like a Christmas tree. Your blood corpuscles, your bones, the energy force would just, whoa, because you was God the whole time. Now, if you accidentally lost the ticket, that same energy, a reverse pose, you'll get dark. The messenger explained one time, he said, why does Allah cause our blood to get dark? Because the blood is the lifeblood of us. And I mean, he explained that he's seen brothers come to Savior's Day, February 26th, in the dead of winter, and they look like they got suntans in the summer because their thoughts are dark. Their thoughts, they doing so much corruption on the street. They hustling so much, doing so much chaotic stuff. They all over the place that you can literally look at your brother and be like, I can look at you and tell you're not eating to live. I can look at you and tell you're not studying your lessons. I can look at you and tell you're not making your prayers. I can look at you and tell you're not giving charity. I can look at you and tell you're not thinking right. I can look at you and tell you're not doing right. And just the polar opposite is the same. You can look at your sister, your brother, and tell they doing something right. They using the messenger's message to guide themselves in this age of mess. You see? So we have the physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, the soul. So the soul, just as the spirit is stimulated from exterior forces, the soul is from within. That's why we say black people got soul, more soul than white folks. That melanated being, you can generate the power from within yourself. I mean, you know, like I know brothers that were in the penitentiary making 15 cents an hour. And they came together and formed a cipher. They got in a circle. They came up with an idea. And they made $1 million from being inside the penitentiary. See, it's not limited by time nor place. It's not limited by your circumstances. The white man can't hold you back. If you have a determined idea and you really believe it, if you really believe the black man is God. See, some people say the black man is God. They be like, peace, shalom alaikum, shalom. What's today's mathematics? They don't really believe it. You be like, do you really believe that though? Real rap. Now, I mean, do you really believe? Do you understand there is nothing in this universe more important than you conveying that idea? Your sole purpose is to deliver the mentally dead, the mental magnetic fields, mentally dead to the Lamb of God, the teachers of Elijah Muhammad. Not so that they could take and put up a picture of Master Muhammad and the messenger and pray to it. No, so that they can have the picture. The messenger teaches us in our 12 Jews of Islam: knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, freedom, justice, and equality, food, clothing, and shelter, love, peace, and happiness. He teaches us that understanding is a picture one makes in his or her mind of knowledge. See, when you have this knowledge or this information, now you got to picture it. You got to be like, how can I derive benefit from the information? That's the God. You be like, I don't care if I get it from Reverend T.D. Jakes. I could get it from Bishop Windsor. I could get it from Albert Minister Farrakhan, Salas. I could listen to a tape of Public Enemy, Rakim. I could watch the movie of some strippers. You could watch South Park and get information that's beneficial for self. If you're conscious. If you're not, you could go to church every day. You could go to Jumu'ah every Friday. You could go to temple service, mosque services. You could salute the flag. You could do left face, right face, about face, double about face, triple about face. It don't make a difference if you are not conscious of who you are. Yeah, you know the messenger, Master Muhammad, Dalmas, Farrakhan. You know your lessons, you know. But do you know your true self? Are you cognizant of your strengths and weaknesses? The polarity within yourself, which you need to work on. You know what I mean? Maybe your arm strength is pretty good. You need to run. You need to get some breath in. You may need to strengthen your legs. You may need to read more. I mean, turn the TV off sometimes and pick up your Bible, pick up your Quran, pick up your lessons, pick up Message to the Black Man, The Fall of America. I said, pick up one of my books. I mean, get knowledge to benefit yourself, family. So the physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, the soul is that power that's from within. It's a degree or a higher vibration than the spiritual plane. So after the soul comes what? The physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, the soul, the self. That's the plane I'm on right now. Everybody goes on different planes. The self is where you literally are comfortable in your own skin. See, it's like you don't need to be around no brothers, sisters, money, fame, fortune, whatever. You cool within yourself. You be like, I'm doing for self. I mean, I don't work for nobody. I do for self. I mean, you be like, you know, I'm not worrying about my health. I'm doing for self. Politically, I vote FJE. I vote Freedom, Justice, Equality, Islam Party. I vote as an independent. I do for self. With like politicians, I don't care if you Democrat. I'm like, yo, what is you going to do for self? How can I derive benefit from you being in office? You saying F me, F you. You see? You help me, I help you. That's the law. I mean, that's the reality of it. Now, I mean, you be cool when you're on that plane of self. Now, I mean, when you're doing for self, I don't care. Say you starting your own business. You got a barbershop. It ain't got you don't see people think you gotta have a bunch of money to be rich. I'm really like I don't really have no money. I mean, I got enough money to pay my bills and make more money. I use the old Jewish principles from the Bible, the book of Leviticus. You know what I mean? Like 1/3 you use to pay the bills, 1/3 you eat, and 1/3 you reinvest. So every year you get stronger and stronger and stronger. So I use a mathematical philosophy. Now I mean, I can easily get rich. I mean, I'm from North Philly. I know how to make things happen. I know how to make things happen under any circumstances. But at the same time, you got to be like, if you're doing for self, are you throwing rocks at the penitentiary? Too old for that. Been there, done that. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not trying to hustle. I'm not trying to rob a robber. I mean, I'm not trying to sell drugs. I ain't trying to do none of that. No, I'm good. I don't need a bunch of money. As long as my bills paid and I got peace of mind and contentment, and I got enough money, you know what I mean? Wifey wants something, I go to the store, I could pay for the bills, do whatever. I'm good. You know what I mean? It's like I would love to have more money, but that's not my attraction. Now, when I do for self and I reach my God state, that seventh dimension, the physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, the soul, the self, the will, I get whatever I want. Million, billion, trillion, whatever you want. It's up to you. Poverty. I mean, some people give it all up. You know what I mean? Go as a monk or hermit in the cave somewhere. You know what I mean? Whatever makes you, whatever brings you peace of mind and contentment. You know what I mean? That's up to you. Be God. I want to thank you for listening. I pray within and I work without, that you click that subscribe button and that you tune in to more of our videos on the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of yourself. And remember, family, only the messenger's message can guide you through this age of mess. Salam alaikum. Peace to the gods and goddesses. The struggle continues.